Global warming, extinction of species, everyone. How to do this in 15 minutes? That is the question. Firstly, I have to say that I'm in absolutely no way condoning sex crime, sexual assault, rape, anything. They are serious offences, and perpetrators should be brought to justice. All of them, always. So that's not the point of this rant. And if accidentally you happen to be someone who has been sexually assaulted and you actually accidentally are seeing this, I'm so sorry. It was not your fault. And this is just philosophical babble, and you probably should not be watching this. Anyway, and my rant is to the more civilized part of human society. There is a more uncivilized part where sexual crime is not only condoned, but it is sanctified by religious elders, all of them male. So no reason to talk to them, isn't there? So I'm talking to more civilized part of our society, and actually that isn't so civilized. So I'm actually again talking to a society that does not exist. But I have already ranted about that, so we'll leave it there. But anyway, let's take our more civilized society. What we have at the moment is when somebody does sexual criminality. People are at least shamed. Most of the time, they are condemned, and if they're not too rich or too powerful, they are eventually prosecuted and then convicted. All in a way fine, but all in a way rather silly, because it doesn't change it. And again, it doesn't matter how severely sexual misconduct, sexual criminality is punished. You have it. In the most civilized country in the world, you have it. It doesn't matter how rich or powerful or how well off, and how well brought up, and how much how big the silver spoon or a golden spoon or a platinum spoon has been in the male's bing 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 mouth. They still do it. We have it everywhere. No, and it doesn't matter from how civilized a country that army comes from. In that particular war, they're still gonna... rape is gonna be rampant. So, sexual criminality, it's been a thing in the civilized society for a very long time. Has it gone anywhere? Nowhere. Okay, why? Okay, what should be done? Because, and I need to do a rant about this, punitive society does not work at all. Punishment does not take away crime. That's a silly idea. Prisons are no good. They're just better than decapitation, but we really should move on. So anyway, what should be done? Well, the most obvious answer is, of course, civilization, education, upbringing. Those are the things that can actually change something, not punishment, for God's sake. And again, that's just an expression. It's not actually trying to say that there is a God. So anyway, where to start? Well, I've alluded to that. The first, I think, important point is that sexual assault, sex crimes, is always done by males. Alright? Males. The very few females who've done it in the history of mankind are the exception that verify the rule. So again, it should be something, there should probably be a word, international word, that always tells that it's a male who does it. But that isn't enough, of course, but that's the first thing. And why is it never recognized? I don't know. Is it because men are so... males are, they're so ashamed of what they were thinking when they were 15 that they don't really, subconsciously they don't want to talk about it all that much? And is it really that in these, in many countries, again, militant female chauvinism that's going on. It's really that women are just so feministic that they refuse to grant males even more sexual madness and sexual criminality. However much sexual criminality you can do, I can do more. I don't know. But for some reason, it's never pointed out enough that it's just males. But then the next, of course, and now we get into this completely, again, we get to where again, society is not just to males, is that I've had several arguments during my lifetime with militant young ladies who claim that women are just as sex mad as men are. And female sexuality is just as strong as the male sexuality. Like heck it is. But I don't have, again, it's in time for another rant. I cannot deal with it. I don't have the time. There's 15 blooming minutes. Male sexuality, it's about 10,000 times, to be generous, 10,000 times stronger than the female sexuality. So when we talk about the huge biological urge that is, that is tried to be controlled so that we would not have sexual criminal behavior, women really don't know what we're talking about, do they? They don't know how strong it is. And all these crazy religious males who won't even recognize that we are animals and that there is such thing as biology and evolution, aren't helping the discussion about this biological urge that male have, and that's much stronger than the female sex drive, because that is something that would need to be again recognized. Just as it should be recognized that sexual crime is done by males, it should be recognized that the male sex drive beats the female sex drive to a coquette. But whatever isn't happening. I'm talking to a more civilized society. But then the third important point is that we, again, and it is completely perverted because rich people want their profits. We are artificially made to grow up. That you're somehow sexually legal, mature, appropriate at around 16, that you're somehow an adult around 18 and or 21 and whatever. Complete and utter horse shite. Our brains evolve until we're 25, and it's around that time and after that we actually develop any real character and any true gift of empathy. So you may notice that is about 10 years too late when in conjunction with when your sexual awakening happens. And this is, again, something that I cannot understand. It doesn't matter how progressive the male is that you hear talking. They seem to have completely forgotten, because they're 30, 40, somewhere, and they have steady relationships or something. They've completely forgotten what it was like to be 15. Totally forgotten. And it is absolutely destructive, and it's completely unintellectual. But anyway, when your sexual... And again, if you want to argue how strong the male sexual drive is, go ahead. I've always described it as being, that when your hormones start to hum, as being mentally hit in the back of the head with a baseball bat. And again, the old saying that then Ian Fleming took to be a name of a story, you only live twice, has absolutely nothing to do with being born and dying. It is, your life before, as a male, your life before sexual awakening and the life after. They're two different things. Totally two different things. And the reason that the latter part is so much longer is actually, again, it's technical advancement. We actually should be, biologically we should be dying around 40. So, when this happens, this sexual awakening, this huge, you're in no way ready for it. Your empathy skills, you know, treating other people as human beings, as valuable as you are, and loving your fellow man as much as you do yourself, it has nothing to do with you. You don't really care enough about your parents, your siblings, your friends. The best of your friends are pretty much there for you, so that you have somebody to play with, somebody to fight with, and when you get to your puberty, somebody to talk to when you need to talk to. So suddenly you want sex. You want sex so mad that it makes you cry. All right? Why would that make you interested in the girl as a human being? You just want to have sex with the girl. You couldn't give a toss about the girl. You don't give a toss about your own parents. You know, you've wanted a game from your mother or your father. You couldn't give a toss about your mother or your father. You want the game. Okay, you hit puberty. You just want the sex from the girl. You couldn't give a damn about the girl. All right. So if you're not helped, supported, brought up, educated, why would girls, and then later on women, if you are not in any way supported by the society, why would the girl and then women ever stop being just objects, sex objects to a male? I mean, this is elementary. So this brings me to the, you know, what I want, what are my demands? And again, I know this is completely futile. Sex ed, all right? Like the original sex ed was about teaching children how to safely have sex so that you don't have diseases and unwanted pregnancies and all the crap that comes with them. In the same way, you would need sex ed for young males, for boys. You know, around 10, somebody who is better and cleverer and wiser, or perhaps a bit later, would have to start telling them that in 3 or 4 or 5 years, you're gonna be hit in the head with a biological urge you cannot believe, and you have to deal with it, and you know, and again, society would need to support this. There would need to be discussion and words and understanding for, you know, for boys to deal with this. That's what you need. That's the only way that sexual deviance. There aren't very many males I've met in my lifetime who aren't deviant, you know, sexually deviant. It's just ridiculous. The discussion in a locker room after a floorball game is ridiculous. It's beyond moronic. So anyway, the only way, you know, and I mean, what's with most of the internet, you know, porn sites? I love porn sites, but I must say that all the headers there, you know, mummy's away, what daddy does with girl, you know, all this incest crap. I mean, it just nauseates me. I mean, it ruins my sexual pleasure. I don't, you know, we have our the male sexual sexuality is not under control in any way. It is absolutely wild at the moment. So what we would really need is for the society to understand, support, help young boys, teenage boys, to deal with their biological urges. That's the way to actually heal so many other wounds of society and better the world. I cannot tell you how much that would better the world. But again, I'm shouting in the wind. But that would actually almost, not totally, but almost eradicate sexual assault in the civilized world. And then you might hope to actually import again some of the ideas to the more uncivilized parts of the world that is going to be destroyed very soon. Blah, 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 blah. This is so useless. But